A lot of people have been calling for Terence Crawford to fight as mandatory. And they've been calling for him to fight as mandatory instead of trying to be great and going up to face either Jamel Charlo or Canelo Alvarez. But here's the issue with what you're saying. Who's Terence Crawford mandatory? Think long and hard. It is not Jaron Boots Ennis. Terence Crawford mandatory is Alexis Rocha. That's his mandatory. He had the WBO belt, and he was supposed to fight Alexis Rocha before the summer. The summer is over almost. Right? He got another fight scheduled with Spence. So after his contractual obligation with Spence, what we're looking at, probably early summer next year. That means Alexis Rocha would have been waiting a whole year for that fight. That's his mandatory. Followed by, who was Errol Spence mandatory? Go ahead and guess. It was Keith Thurman. Remember, they went to the sanctioning bodies, basically said, hey, you have this amount of time to make a fight with Keith Thurman, and then followed by the WBA fell in line, and next it was the Stanionis versus Virgil Ortiz winner. Virgil Ortiz had some medical conditions, he dropped out. So if we were to go in order, and Terence Crawford first took care of his obligation, which would be Alexis Rocha, then Errol Spence obligations, which would be Keith Thurman and Stanionis, Boots would come in fourth. Now the IBF doesn't have to fall in line, right? They're their own entity. They don't have to say, hey man, we're gonna take the fourth place. They can say, we want you to fight us now. But at the end of the day, Terence Crawford mandatory is Alexis Rocha, followed by Keith Thurman, followed by Emmanuel Stanionis. So if that was your argument, it's a pretty pathetic argument, and you didn't do much research. And I'm not against the fight. If Terence Crawford decided he wanted to stay at 147 and defend all these belts, then I would expect him to fight Jaron Boots Ennis. But at the end of the day, he said he was moving up. And if he's moving up to 154, and again, he's chasing greatness and he's chasing bigger and better things, then Boots Ennis is just going to have to build his legacy off the backs of everybody else that's still at 147 and the guys that's willing to come to the division in the future. It's that simple. And I know I butchered Stanionis' name and called him Emmanuel. I'm out. Peace.